You're listening to Weird Realities, and I'm Hadley Thorne. Together with Alan Gamboa, Rich Restucci, Scott Baker, and I believe we might have some hijackers, we're bringing you Watching Weird. Sometimes the greatest thing to come out of terrible movies are the hilariously scathing reviews. Case in point, Alan, I'm handing it off to you.
Oh, hey. I thought Joe Hansen would be still with us because when we were going off, he's like, what? But he's gone. So I guess he isn't a Luddite that I thought he was. Hey, it's good to be back on Thursday nights with everybody. This is great. We've got Rich Restucci back with us, which
Yay, Rich.
good to see our brother there.
Happy to be here.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't this. We weren't the Three Musketeers, man.
Yeah.
You know, so
You bring the magic when you're here.
You do.
Oh, yay.
You do. And it's
Well,
quite the magic.
Here.
Well, good. We're happy to see your face, brother.
Thank you.
I will tonight we have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022. And it is a doozy. And a movie called Gravy, which I'm dying to hear everybody's input on that. But before we move on, is there anything anybody wants to throw out there before we get moving on this?
I'm going to start off by saying I will be posting our castmate Logan Craft's review of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It is an hour and 6-minute rant that does the movie the justice only Logan can give it.
It's almost as long as the movie. The movie's like 82 minutes or something.
Yeah.
He said he couldn't sleep until he got it out of his system. I highly recommend it if you have a sense of humor to please listen to it. Don't judge, just listen, enjoy, and have fun.
See, I wanted to watch it, but in case there was anything, I didn't want to steal any of his goodness.
Same.
So, yeah. So I will watch it afterwards, definitely.
You have to be from Texas to really be able to do it right.
Well, this was filmed in Bulgaria, so
Yeah.
you know.
Bulgarian Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Well, you know what? I think we should have Scott, unless somebody else wanted to jump on this one.
Oh, excuse me.
I think we should have Scott give the review. And is that my mine echoing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. It's not bad.
Netflix's Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022. I went into it with high expectations. I thought it was a re-imaging of the original. So just before I turned on the older one, watched it through, turned this one on, and it's not. It's a sequel. It's about a small group of influences. A young guy, I think his name is Dante, and his fiance, and his partner, business partner, Melody, and her sister. They're going to this small, rundown, dilapidated Texas town. They want to buy it, and their influencers, they got dozens of people coming out. They want to buy up all the property real cheap, redevelop it, and turn it into a sort of millennial utopia in the middle of Texas. I don't know. Anyways, I hate this movie, so you'll understand.
Hey, Whitney.
Hi, Whitney.
Hi, Whitney.
So it starts up. They go to the town. They run into this redneck guy that they don't like, and he doesn't like them. They run into two sheriffs that they don't like. The sheriffs don't like them. They get to the town, and they're going through the houses, and they find this old woman in one of the houses. So Dante and her have this big argument back and forth. He says, the house belongs to me. She said, no, there was a mix-up at the bank. It does belong to me. I have the papers. He gets mad, runs out, sees a Confederate flag, freaks out, calls the sheriffs. The sheriffs come in. The poor woman has a heart attack. So they throw her in the back of the ambulance, and they're taking her to a hospital. It's like maybe 40, 50 minutes away. Along with her is her son, who the house she lived in used to be
An orphanage.
An orphanage, thank you. I couldn't think of the name of it. Used to be an orphanage for wayward boys. And this boy, her son, apparently showed up when he was like about 16, or that's been there since. On the way to the ambulance, on the way to the hospital, the old woman dies. The son, who's supposedly Leatherface, goes absolutely ballistically ape shit at that point and wipes out everybody in the ambulance and heads back to town. In town, Melody finds out that Dante is lying through his teeth. He didn't own the property. He just thought she was gone. They find the title for the property, the deed still there. By this time, she realizes, oh God, we're the assholes, and then Leatherface shows up. Now,
Dun, dun, dun.
at this point, you've got the idea of the story.
Hold on, Scott. This movie shouldn't be called Leatherface. Should be called Pleatherface.
You just described the movie better than the movie. So
that joke was better than the movie.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Marky.
I've been saving up on that too. I've been saving that.
Chassis,
Hey, Chasty.
Chassis.
I started making a list of the absurdities. I'm not even talking the stuff that to me was just outright like racist or sexist or disgusting. It's a sequel. Yes. Leatherface is in this movie. What would you guys say? He looks like he's between his 40s and 50s.
Yeah, he doesn't look old enough.
He didn't look as old as that lady.
No, Leatherface is. The original movie took place 50 years ago. Assuming that he was 20, Leatherface would be about 70. Leatherface in this one, there's no way. He's in his mid 40s, late 40s at best. He goes on a killing spree with a chainsaw that never runs out of gasoline.
And despite the fact it was in a wall, it looks brand new and it's green.
Yeah, he finds it in a wall, starts it up. For the whole movie, he never gasses it. I timed it was like 100 minutes. That chainsaw was running insane. He uses it. It cuts through walls, people. It cuts through a support beam this thick, like a electric knife through hot butter.
It's a horror chainsaw.
The scene when she's running under the floorboards and he's like chasing her and he hits the support beam and goes right through. I mean,
not to mention the influencer that was on the bus, or the many influencers on the bus.
I mean, and then
we'll come back to that.
Then the state trooper who shows up happens to be the girl, the young woman, the only survivor from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The woman who spent the entire bloody movie running through the woods, screaming at the top of her lungs for 45 minutes, is now a Texas Marshal carrying a shotgun. No, I'm sorry. Then when he goes in the killing spree, the scene that I'm torn because it was the only good scene. It was like 5 minutes of blood, guts, gore. I've never seen people do this with a chainsaw. But he gets, hi, Logan.
Yeah, it was a Dungeons and Dragons chainsaw.
I was just about to say, that sounds like a video game chainsaw. So he gets on the bus and he's standing there with the chainsaw going, and all the millennials are taking photos of him with their camera. And one of them goes, dude, what are you going to do with him? I'm going to cancel him. It's like, really? Of course, 2 seconds later. And now he's going through the bus killing everybody. Nobody runs. Nobody attacks him. There's like 30 against 1. There are 20-something guys. Nobody runs. Nobody attacks him. They just sit there, let themselves get slaughtered. After all this, not tired out, he cuts the chainsaw through, goes after Melody. Melody stabs him in the hand, or the sister stabs him in the hand with a keychain. That's what takes him down for 5 minutes. And then the spoiler alert. But trust me, if you've listened to this and decided to watch the rest of the movie, you deserve your fate. He takes the chainsaw, cuts the bloody Texas Marshal, the girl he terrorized, practically in half, leaves her. Oh, after she shoots him twice in the shotgun. Okay, like a shotgun. He shoots her twice in the chainsaw. He cuts her in half, goes chasing after her. Finally gets the girls, about to cut her in half. Boom, he gets hit with a gunshot wound from the cop who's cut in half. So she gives her a final little gung-ho speech, and then the movie goes downhill from there. And all I'll say is at the end, thank God for self-driving cars. Otherwise, we wouldn't have had the great ending we did. I'm sorry. Rant off. I'm going to go and I'm going to smoke a joint and have a bottle of
Have
whiskey.
some Tylenol.
Hey, Scott, tell us how you really feel about this movie.
I love
That
the
was sugar coated.
Really, the only good scene was the attack in the bus. I thought it was very imaginative.
I think I have to disagree. There
You
was
didn't
a
like the
really,
scene in
there
the
was
bus?
a really good scene. The best scene to me was when Richter, the
Oh yeah.
Texas dude, got it with the was I don't even know what kind of weapon was it, a sledgehammer, was it
was
a
a hammer.
hammer?
Yeah.
Man, when his leg went backwards, I recoiled. It just made me hurt. And then when he got his head smashed in, I was like, that's pretty
Okay.
gruesome.
That was
The Russians.
gruesome.
And this movie, okay, we were talking about
I
Texas.
will admit that was
right. It wasn't filmed in
potential.
Texas. It was filmed in Sofia.
This movie
Bulgaria.
had such potential.
It
No,
did.
Bulgaria.
And the
Yeah.
and the Texan Richter
Yeah.
is not even a Texan. He's from the UK. That dude, if you're a fan of Vikings, he played King Adolf.
Well, I wasn't
Egbert's
afraid of
son.
Vikings, but I might be now because he was my favorite character.
I know, me too. He turned out to be a good character. And,
Well, and I'm going to take a page from Logan's book. When he rolled up to get his gas, they were really crappy to him
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
they set them up as
as assholes.
assholes.
Yeah.
They did.
Well, they were. They were.
Yeah,
actually.
they were.
They
Yeah.
took that lady's house.
Yep.
Yeah.
Granted, they didn't all know about it, but still.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they're gonna judge him because of his gun, and,
Right.
who was using the gun later. But yeah, that to me was a really good scene when he tried to do the decent thing and help that girl. But yeah, I will say the only good thing about this movie to me was the effects.
I thought you were going to say the ending.
No, it wasn't. That wasn't even
Just
that
when
good.
it was over.
That kid's cleaved face, that was good.
I hope.
No,
Me?
the
I'm sorry,
cleaved
go ahead.
face, the half cleaved Dante face, that was kind of gruesome too. I liked that.
yeah.
It was
Yeah.
some good effects there. But that's about all I can say.
I can't wait to never see this movie again. So bad. Shut it off, and I'm like, all right. All I've heard is one side saying this is the best movie I've ever seen, and the other side saying this is the most terrible movie I've ever seen. So politics of today, I'm kind of in the middle. Not with this thing. This thing was awful. I was sitting there like this, and I'm playing with my dog, and because I didn't see how he got in the ambulance because I had
They
dog
let him
issues.
in.
Yeah, right. That's what I figured afterwards.
Yeah.
I was like, he didn't magic in there, and he wasn't hiding in the little tiny ambulance. Although with this movie, that would have been, a thing. He was hiding behind a tongue depressor. But
Largest bus bathroom ever.
yeah, right. Okay, so we'll get to that. But I'm with Hadley on the hammer thing because I went ooh when that.
Yeah.
I actually made, and my dog went ooh too. We both did. But the bus, when he got on the bus, I was sitting there going, "There's 15 people on this bus. There's 15 people. They outweigh him by 1,000 pounds. I know he's got a chainsaw,
Yeah.
but just rush the bastard, and it's over. Game over. Movie over. No sequel. Oh, because guess what? Now there can be a sequel.
Yeah.
And the next thing that bothered me was the self-driving car. And well, the thing that bothered me the most was not making sure the bastard's dead. No, take his head off. Get it off, and you're good. So that we shot him, we stabbed him, we hanged him, we castrated him, we drowned him. It's like Rasputin. And shockingly, the guy Freddy Krueger's and Jason's himself up out of the water and grabs the girl at the end, and again, spoiler alert, and he kills her in just the most ridiculous way. And her sister is in the self-driving car. Bye. And it was so bad. The movie was just. I did not find any redeeming qualities other than the ooh factor when the guy got his niece shattered. That was
That was terrible.
the rest of the movie was just, it was boring. It because you could just see what was going to happen. And there was one scene where the younger sister has the shotgun and she goes hunting him, which is, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do, is hunt the bad guy. And it was like 10 minutes long. The scene was, it couldn't, I actually fast forwarded it because I'm like, all right, she's been doing this for 10 minutes. And then she sees the chainsaw on the floor and she's like, oh gosh. And there it is. You can see where it happens there. But yeah, this movie was 2 thumbs down for me.
Well, it had some horror. Hey, Mark, the AF is for Air Force. It's an Air Force hat. Anyway,
Sure it is.
He's an Air Force veteran.
Air Force.
That means you got to talk slow.
Thank you for
That's Marines. Anyway,
those are going to use one syllable.
Okay, alphabet man. Here we go. This does have some horror tie-ins. The gal that played the old lady at the beginning that he cut her face off, Alice Krieg. She was in Ghost Story. She played the ghost, and she was the leader of the Borg in Star Trek Next Generation.
She's been in a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah.
The sheriff that got shot, he played Lieutenant Gorman in Aliens. Bam.
Really?
Yes, that was Gorman.
Landa.
I'm going to have to go back. Hi, Landa. I'm going to have to go back and watch that.
Hey, Landa. Yeah, so it had a little bit of, horror history to it, but it sucked. It was a sucky movie. I mean, I enjoyed the blood and guts in it. They were done pretty fun, but the movie just sucked. You could see what was going on.
Well,
you could tell what was going to happen, who was going to die. I didn't know which one of the sisters was going to die though at the end. But you could basically, this thing was written by a bot somewhere, obviously, because it sucked.
One of my favorite moments though was, despite the fact she weighed maybe 100 pounds soaking wet, the little white-haired woman who looked to me, 80, was the one person who didn't die on impact. She stuck around once or twice. She was able to get the shotgun and help the girl and still speak. Everyone else died on impact. That was ridiculous to me. And when he picked her up with the chainsaw, yeah. It's like, really?
Yeah, this was I thought it would be at least like the 2003 or was it 2007? I thought it would be like one of those, but no, it was like I said, the gore was about the best part.
Yeah, and what just got me was the writers made such a shoddy connection between the two movies. If they didn't say it was Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I wouldn't have put the two of them together.
And there's no cannibalism. That's that was the main.
Yeah.
But we wore a face.
Yeah, and a chainsaw. And John Larroquette narrated the beginning like he did in the first movie. So
I hope he got paid more than he did for the first movie.
Probably.
You know what he got for the first movie to do that opening? A joint. Well, back then, remember, Larroquette was no one. I don't even think Night Court was on then.
Historically, Texas Chainsaw has pulled out some really good actors.
Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey, Renee Zellweger, both of them were in were one of the entities of the Texas Chainsaw.
Dennis Hopper.
Yeah.
I guess we can't top that one.
Well, depends on what movie he's in. He's made some dogs.
I mean, the only character I liked through the whole thing was Dante's girlfriend, the young blonde.
Oh yeah.
I was going to say Leatherface.
No, okay. Well, Leatherface is a given. I mean,
but technically, wasn't he wearing her face?
That was
Didn't
wearing
he
his
have
mom.
part of her
Yes,
face?
yes, he did.
He took her face too.
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not
Because
rewatching it. I'll just have to take your word
I'm
for
not
it.
rewatching
when
it.
the Texas Ranger is walking through the corn, he finds the young girl, not the
Yeah,
old.
I forgot.
So and she's
Oh.
got no
Ah.
face. So.
And you see, that sort of bothered me about him too. She was the only one that really showed any compassion towards anyone.
yeah.
Right.
You know, I'll get it. She did. I think she was the one that told Leatherface, "Come with us. You can come with us and ride with your mother." And she was the
Well-
last one in the ambulance to die. She got to
Mm.
watch everyone. Which that was a good scene where, like, she's stuck there looking in the rearview mirror, watching him tearing apart the deputy.
Oh yeah, that was.
Well, okay, that was another good scene. Was the deputy's arm in the back? That was
Yeah.
pretty good.
Londa.
Nope.
No!
Father.
No.
Nope. You will not get that 40 minutes back because it's only an 82-minute movie.
Yes.
So if
Logan's rant's longer.
yeah, I still have
And
to watch that.
much better.
Well, I'm gonna take a page from Logan and say and this was something I did think. Like I said, Logan pretty much was the voice of all of my rants about the movie, but he being Leatherface was devastated by the death of his mother, and what we're seeing is that rage, you know. But and it was kind of sad when he got the dress out of the closet, and he put the makeup on his face. I'm sorry, it's not funny.
Well, it humanized him, but you know, Leatherface is like Jason, or he's a machine.
They're all
He's
the same
just-
guy.
Yeah, they're all
Yeah.
the same guy. They're just blam blam blam. So I thought that part was kind of, I don't
Well,
know.
they were trying. It was.
No,
This
they
was one of
weren't.
those movies where they
They
tried to
were,
have
they
a
were.
message, and I'm not sure what the message was, other than "Don't go to Texas."
It was Chris Thomas Devlin wrote it. From what I saw, this was the first movie he's ever written. He should stop. Catering. Would you like cream with your coffee at the catering truck is what he should be doing. But see, that bothered me. That's not his mother. His mother dies in the first movie.
Yeah.
So this is a woman who's taken him in, but that's not his trigger. His trigger was always his older brothers telling him what to do, driving him nuts. And yes, I can see his mother dies, he goes nuts. I would have, if I was writing it, I probably would have killed off very quickly and painlessly the young blonde woman, Dante's fiance, because she was the one that showed kindness to him.
I thought I took what I saw as Alice Krieg wasn't his mother, but she was sort of the woman that ran the orphanage, and he was in the orphanage. Because you're right, his mother did get killed in the original movie.
Yeah.
So there is a bit of a disconnect there. So I didn't, and because of that, I mean, I remember the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original. Because of that, I was thinking, well, that can't be his mom because his mom's dead.
Yeah.
So I took it
Okay.
as she was running the orphanage, and Leatherface came to the orphanage
I'm
after
He
he
was
had done that.
already.
I'm going to have to.
Sorry,
add
Hadley. He was already over 20.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah.
So-
So I mean, the time doesn't work either way.
I
Plus,
was
he should have
going
been
to say
about
we're
70
going to
years
have
old.
to suspend disbelief here and say, you know, the real Texas Chainsaw Massacre original was filmed in the 70s, right? Late
Right,
60s,
right.
early 70s. So 50-something years have gone by. He has to be at least 70.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, okay, 65. I'm being generous. So you have to suspend belief before you go any further if there's any sensibility of understanding and enjoying this movie, because if you think about it, it just doesn't make sense.
I really don't think anybody's going to enjoy this movie anyway.
I agree.
So right there,
There's-
we're kind of doomed.
There's people out there that defend this movie.
No, I know that.
It's
That's true.
crazy. I mean, well, it's not crazy. I guess, their take on it. I guess their opinion, which these movies are subjective, right?
See, I
felt subjected to
at
it.
the very beginning.
Yeah.
At the very beginning, when she mouths off to Richter
Yeah.
about, well, I guess if you're carrying a big gun, that means you got a tiny. First of all, he should have shot that gun a lot of times and killed him then.
He should
It
have.
was just sort of like he just reinforced what she said. But I'm like, I'm finding that really insulting. Okay. But then an hour later, probably 40 minutes later, it was such a short movie, when he gets on the bus and he's holding the chainsaw and they're all taking pictures of him. If I was a millennial, I would have been insulted at that. It's like, really? This guy's about to hack you all to death and you're taking pictures of him?
We'll
How
cancel
stereotypical is that?
Well,
Cancel you.
it's like it didn't know what it wanted to take the stance, and then switched its stance, and then it switched its stance. It's anti-gun, but yet they use a gun. We're gonna cancel you, dude. It's like that was great. I like that though, because that was a swing at cancel culture right there. It's like,
yeah. And I was thinking to myself, if it was Freddy Krueger, it'd be like, no, you're canceled.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so when are we writing our own movie? Because obviously we have a chance.
Well, they could have the guy that wrote Zombies and Aquarium of the Dead and came out with a better movie than this one.
Both of those movies were better than this one.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what was sad about this one was it had a lot of money. It had backing. It wasn't done as a cheap independent production. I could almost forgive that. This was a fairly big studio giving these guys a bunch of money, and they made a movie that was crap.
But
Imagine
don't you
that.
think that happens a lot? And basically,
for
this
sure.
movie was, we'll do all this, and we'll say all this, and then we'll say it's Texas Chainsaw Massacre, man. I mean,
Yeah, but
that was what it
I
was.
expected from Sci-Fi Channel. I expected from some independent, right? Especially if you're making a movie like the next one we're going to talk about, Gravy, which is a perfect example. Okay, you don't have the big budget to make it great. They had the big budget and they dropped the ball every single step of the way. It was like the Patriots before Brady showed up.
Yeah, exactly. I think they just saw dollar signs when Netflix said, "Hey, let's do this," and everybody just saw dollar signs. Let's make a ton of money, and I'm sure they are making a shitload of money on this. I think it was number 1 or number 2 on the Netflix when I just turned it on a little while ago.
Well, considering what Netflix is running, that's not a big deal.
Yeah, true.
Oh, I wanted to take a moment to say that we're actually streaming live on Twitter right now. It's our first time to stream on Twitter.
Nice.
So, hello, Twitter.
Hello, Twitter.
We love you,
Hi,
and
Twits.
thank you for joining us if you have.
Why? I didn't know I was tweeting right now.
Yeah, right.
Tweeting.
I usually
first
tweet alone.
I thought I saw a putty
Tweet.
tap.
Yeah.
My tweets are usually private.
Mine went public once, but I lived through the embarrassment.
Was that you, Tommy Lee, and Pamela? Was that your private tweet?
They took me down before I did the Carradine show.
Too soon, Scott. Sorry, I don't twit.
Sadly, there's a lot of our
Wait, it
audience
just made
that
me
won't
snort.
get that.
Yeah. And sadly, there is.
Yeah.
Well,
So what do we give this classic of horror cinema?
I'm not even giving it a number. I'm just going to give it a thumbs
You
down.
just took it. I was going to say the same thing. This movie does not deserve a star.
I give it a 0.8 only because I thought the scene in the bus was well choreographed and well caught. And I'm being extraordinarily generous.
It did have good gore effects. It did.
It did have good gore effects, but
Wasted.
I have to subtract for the lack of timeline. It doesn't make sense.
It does not.
There's
It's like they didn't
no
even read
stretch.
the script or saw the first movies or any of the movies.
No.
I mean, the whole cannibal thing being removed from it
Yeah.
was just a big no for
It
me.
was the most important part.
In no
Right.
verse
Okay.
does this make sense.
I mean, I didn't have to see somebody being eaten or anything like that, but
No.
at least allude to it.
It did
You
show the
know?
barbecue.
Yeah, but
That
yeah, I
was-
guess that was for people that know. You know,
Well,
like
yeah,
oh, you
'cause,
know,
like the rest of the people it was for.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's true. I mean, on this one, they literally just focused on Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre that wasn't filmed in Texas.
yeah. I would give it a 1, just because it's nice to see Lieutenant Gorman get killed again.
Well, man, I should give it a star for that whole leg bending back, but I'm not going to. It like I said, I detract for that whole timeline.
Yeah, it is pretty bad. So, like I said, it should have been called Pleatherface. And
And like I said, I will be posting Logan versus Kenny or Logan versus the world. Which one is it, Logan? I'm not really sure. I will be posting the link to Logan's rant for those people who have 1 hour and 6 minutes worth of nothing but critique of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022.
I would like to see that. I guarantee that's going to be better than the movie.
Oh
It made me laugh.
well, okay, I guess.
Logan has talent, man.
Yeah, he does. He does. Well, you want to move? Let's move to Gravy then. I thought this one would pair good because it's a cannibal movie,
Yeah.
so it might pair well. So, does anybody want to give their Rich? You want to
Sure.
go for it, brother?
So I went into this movie and I thought, what the hell have they done to me? And I had that going for about 10 minutes, and then I was like, I love this movie. I fell in love with that movie really fast. It is so ridiculous, over the top, and stupid, and I loved it. I did.
Good.
It's so there's this group of people and they're friends, and they work in this like crappy Mexican restaurant. And it's, what was it, New Year's Eve? There was some kind of
Halloween.
Halloween. That's what it was. Of course, it was
Hence
Halloween.
hence the costumes.
Yeah, well, New Year's Eve costumes too, but so it's Halloween, and these this group of 3 other people sort of break in, weld the doors closed, and there's no way out. They capture the entire group of friends, I guess, or co-workers, tie them up, put them in chairs, and then proceed to tell them that they're going to eat them. So it progresses from there, and each person, dies in an odd way, we'll say, and they begin to eat like portions of the person during the movie. And there's a French guy working. He's a French chef, and he's working in a Mexican restaurant, a cheap ass Mexican restaurant. And what's the character's name? The sort of the lead bad guy, not the guy with the mustache, the other guy.
Oh God.
The British guy?
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but he's been in a few things. He's in Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have seen that, but he's actually quite funny, and he tells the French guy that if you do the cooking for this, then we'll let you live. And so, I mean, they're sawing off feet and reaching into body cavities, and it
Jimmy
was
Simpson.
really,
Simpson.
actually, yeah, it is. It was really gruesome, and it's hilarious. There were a couple of ridiculous scenes, but you have to expect that. And Lily Cole, I think she's a British model. She's in it, and she's the most psycho of all of them. But she's not. This is sort of her first time. What they do this every. I should have mentioned that the 3 cannibals do this, or the 2 cannibals, the brothers, do this every year, and they sort of picked her up as a girlfriend last year, and one of the brothers doesn't get along with her, and the other brother's in love with her, kinda, and they're thinking about whether or not they should get rid of her. But she's the crazy one, and she sort of eggs people on, or eggs the brother on to dislike the other brother, and I mean, there's a trio dynamic going on. But overall, the way that Jimmy Simpson just talks and does stuff is great, and I liked it.
Yeah.
Let me throw some stuff out there real quick, and then
Please do.
we could. Okay, this was directed and written by James Roday. Now, James Roday had the series Psych with Dooley Hill. If anyone's a fan of the series Psych, you could pick it up in this show. I mean, the humor in it is the same as Psych, minus the cannibalism. And he's a big fan of Tears for Fear music, and that music's in the movie. The guy, one of the Tears for Fears guys, did the soundtrack. And so I'm surprised you three haven't seen Psych. Oh my gosh, that show's hilarious. But it gets silly like that, but it's really funny. And so that's why I grabbed this movie, because I'm a big fan of James Roday, Dooley Hill's dynamic. So I liked it. It had Paul Rodriguez in it. I haven't seen Paul Rodriguez in forever. He played the owner of the Mexican restaurant. And I don't care for Sarah Silverman. She was in it. Her part's kind of silly. It had the gal that played Mandy Baxter on Tim Allen's show, the last show he had on. Oh, and Jimmy Simpson, Michael Weston played the other brother, and they both were on Psych. They both were on Psych too. So they brought in, people from Psych to make this movie. So I'm glad you enjoyed it.
It was fun.
I will mention that the soundtrack was excellent. It was really cool. You'll know every song that's on there. It was great.
And I love the fact that even though Sarah Silverman finds out that the guy she was hitting on is going to be a serial killer that eats her, she still has a thing for him. Because I got to tell you, maybe it's me, maybe it's time I check myself in, but I thought that British girl, when she was on her psycho mode, was so sexy.
I felt sorry for the guy in the blue tuxedo.
Yeah.
The idiot in the blue tuxedo.
Yeah, at some point it was just sort of like, why don't they just kill him?
Yeah.
And, the other thing that I love was the dynamic between the head of the ring and the French cook. The way he's making these delicacies out of human flesh.
And his insults.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You son of a devil pig, It's
Such
great.
It was a good, fun movie. I thought the kills were funny. I thought some of them were just so stupid they were hysterical. The only question I have is at the very end of the movie, and if you don't want to know the end, stick your fingers in your ears. When he goes back to the diner and is talking to Sarah Silverman, who's in the woods looking at them?
Oh, that's the gal.
The girl that got away.
Yeah, the girl that got away.
Which girl that got away?
The girl that was wearing the football uniform.
Yeah.
The only one, she got out the window and they got hit by the ambulance. She didn't die. That was her.
Oh, okay. All right.
She was like the paramedic person, right?
Yep. She was going to be a paramedic.
Okay, the two paramedics at the end, the Hispanic guy was James Roday, and the other guy was Dooley Hill. So that was James Roday was the director and writer. So they made a little cameo at the end. Yeah. So it was bloody too. Nicotero and his partner Howard Berger, they did the special effects on it. So they had some, talented special effects in it.
What year was it made? Do you know what year it was made?
2015.
2015. So was that before or after Nicotero got into The Walking Dead? That was right about then, right?
Yeah.
2015. Huh.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I think they were still K&B special effects at that time. I think. But I'm glad you enjoyed it. What say you, Hadley? You've been quiet.
Well, I liked it. I'm a big Jimmy Simpson fan, so I like pretty much anything with him. I was disappointed this wasn't the Michael Weston I was expecting.
I know, right? Oh, yeah. That's funny. Same Burn Notice. Yeah.
Yeah, I love him.
So, actually, he was on an episode of Burn Notice. Michael Weston was.
Wait, what?
Yeah. He was on.
But he wasn't Michael Weston in the. But it is spelled different though, isn't it?
I think it's spelled the same.
Oh. Well.
Oh.
Yeah, it was different. I'm not a big Sarah Silverman fan, but I felt like it was a good role for her.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was funny.
And was it me? It was like they made her the star of it to just have the big. I mean, she was the only name I recognized at the beginning, but she seemed to have one of the least lengthy roles in the whole thing.
You thought it was kind of like a red herring, I think, at the beginning when you saw her, Sarah Silverman.
And then Gabri Sisabe, or is that how you pronounce her? I forget. That she had her part. She wasn't in there very long too, and
She
she's
she was in American Horror Story, right?
yeah,
The New Orleans episode.
yep.
Now that Lily Cole, I mean, I'll say this, like in regards to her character, I think that pretty much any woman named Mimi just needs to be shot because it's so annoying.
Oh no!
Hey, Morgana.
Morgana.
Hey, Morgana.
Thank you, Morgana. It's good to be here.
I'm glad to see that we're on Twitter. Or Twitter works.
We are
Um,
twitting.
Yes, we are tweeting. But yeah, it was good.
It was good to see Paul Rodriguez too. I hadn't seen him in
It
anything
was.
in
I hadn't
years.
seen him in forever.
Yeah, and I like the camaraderie of all the restaurant workers. So
Yeah.
when they died, it was kind of you kind of felt they'd build up such this camaraderie. Help me!
You got it.
Thank
You
you.
got
know
it.
what you mean.
Thank
That
you.
word- that word.
Thank you. And a lot of movies don't do that. You don't like that Leatherface. You didn't care. They had no, and this one you did care about the characters.
Yeah, the scene when the guy's trying to get the razor blade.
Yeah,
yeah.
that was funny.
That was hilarious. And she walks in. She's like, "Oh, I'm down. I get it."
Yeah.
It was funny. But the thing I didn't like was the scene with the fan, because
Oh,
I was looking at it, and then he's looking up and he sees the fan, and I'm like, "Dude, your bone's sticking out of your arm. You can't lift the guy up. There's just no way." And you could see it coming, but
Oh yeah.
other than that, I thought that movie was. I thought all the kills was fantastic, every one of them. When they were given the feet to whoever can knock to the bone on the feet first,
Yeah.
you get to go to the bathroom. I thought that was hilarious the way they did that.
oh, there's a scene that reminded me of us is when they were doing the Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Desperately
like-
searching.
It was. I will say this. It was. I'm surprised I'd never heard of this movie before because it was
Same.
that good. I'd never. I mean, I really would have thought it was a newer movie. It surprised me that it was 2015 because I can't
Same.
believe it eluded me for this long.
And that leads me to believe that what else are we missing?
I know. What else
'Cause
does
a
Alan
hidden
Gamboa
gem.
know that we don't?
Well, I don't know if you remember that movie Skinwalkers,
Yeah.
But-
Oh yeah.
but the two guys that wrote this movie wrote that one.
Oh.
So I don't know if you enjoyed that movie or not. I can barely remember it. But there's another movie I watched. It's called I can't remember the name. Damn it. If I can remember the name of it, it's a horror comedy, but it's really a bunch of short stories tied into one. It's like an anthology in it.
Black
Is this
Mirror?
the one is this the one based out of the video store?
Yes.
I just
Yes!
watched that. That is so bad.
But it's bad. It's so bad that it's fun to watch,
Fun.
isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. I can't remember
Oh, Scared to Death or Scared
the
Death?
scare package, something like that. Scare.
You may be Scared Pack. No, I know which one I just watched that one the other night.
Oh my gosh. I recommend it just because there's a lot of gore. There's some humor in it. Actually, it's low budget, cheap. I mean, when the big name in there is Joe Bob Briggs, it's
Yeah.
I thought it was fun, but
And
it is
it's
bad.
free. Isn't it on Tubi or Shudder?
It's on one of those Shudder, I think. Maybe.
Oh, I gotta see this. I'm looking
Hang
at it
on.
now. It looks pretty
Yeah.
good.
Let me check.
It's- It's a homage to the 80s, to video stores. It actually does have one big name well, not big name actor, but if you watch SEAL Team, it's got the Hispanic intelligence officer. She's in it. She's in that one where the
Tony Trucks.
Tony Truck, yes. But other than that, there's nobody
Yeah.
I recognize. But except for Joe Bob Briggs, he has a pretty good cameo in it.
Yeah.
Is it called Scare Package? Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
Or-
I'm looking at it
Okay.
right now.
Oh.
All right. Scare Package, folks. If you like Gravy, that type of movie, it's not as good as Gravy by any means, but it's fun, gore, over the top, and it's making fun of 80s movies. And like I said, it's homage. And if you love video stores, you'll dig the nostalgia there. And that's my rant.
It is on Tubi. So if you're
Okay.
If you're on Tubi, you can get it for free.
Oh, good.
Oh, and now you may also like Return to Bloodfart Lake.
That's an actual movie.
Yes,
I think
which
you're
means
just making that up.
if there's a return to whoops.
Uh-oh.
If there's a return to Bloodfart Lake, means you must have originally had a Bloodfart Lake.
I don't think I would go
What's
to
going on here?
Bloodfart Lake. Are you okay, Scott?
Yeah. Shevenge. Yeah. But it's definitely, it's definitely worth it. It is a fun, I enjoyed it. It was a fun movie. It makes horrible fun of the 1980s horror movie.
It does. It's
video games. Video stores. And
yeah.
I know a lot of our younger viewers are like, what is a video store?
Yeah, right.
I remember spending an hour and a half in a video store. You know,
and come on, how many of
Friday
us?
night.
How many of us stood there, like with a group of others, waiting for the new movie for somebody to return it, so you could be the first to grab?
Yeah,
those were the days.
Those were the days. It's sad. It's sad how things change like that. I mean, we got streaming now. We don't even have to go out of the house, but that stuff was fun. I mean, now being older, you're like, I don't want to go. But back then, it was fun. It was
and then, if you were in the right towns, you had the back room.
Yep. Oh yeah, we had back room. You couldn't go in there though.
Well, I could.
If you did go in there, everybody's looking at you.
I don't know what y'all are talking about.
Yeah.
It rhymes with pornography.
It does.
Okay, I still can't find Wormwood Apocalypse. I'm showing that it's playing on Netflix. I guess it's Netflix Australia because it's not Netflix.
Oh, okay.
No, I looked that up last time and couldn't find it anywhere.
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
I feel like I'm on a mission.
It came out.
It's gonna suck so hard, and I can't find it anywhere.
No, it actually. No, wait. I saw this movie. This movie wasn't nearly as terrible as people would lead you to believe.
Well, no, there's Wormwood Road to something.
Maybe that's. I saw one of them, and it was okay.
Well, Wormwood Apocalypse, it just released, like, in February of 2022. Supposedly in the U.S., it was released, I think, in the Australia, maybe in 2021, towards the end of the year. But I cannot find it streaming anywhere, though I was assured it would be released in February 2022. Yeah.
Well, we have 4 more days or 3 more days, right? So you never knew.
Where's Tony? Where's Tony when we need him? Because Tony knows this
right?
stuff.
Tony is on it.
Just make sure.
Yeah, I haven't seen it advertised. So, I mean, I saw a while back, but I haven't seen anything out lately on it.
It looks like it's our kind of stuff. So I thought, well, that would be a fun one for us to watch. But again,
where can I find the original Wormwood?
I think it's on Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah, it should be all over the place. Rich.
Yeah, I'm seeing Road of the Dead. I'm not seeing Apocalypse.
No, we're not going to do that, Lando. We're nice. We're being nice.
Hey,
we'll just let him read what you've said.
I cannot give anybody crap about any movie until we see one that's worse than Thanksgiving. So.
We did. We saw Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I just watched it today.
You know what they should have had in that movie? They should have had turkey. Turkey should have been in that movie. Whatever. Upped it.
Wait, Lando was just talking about Solar Impact.
Yep. Give us your 2 cents, man. We talked about it last week. Give us your 2 cents.
Yeah, I did. I'm sorry. Last week was
no. That's all right, brother.
So I had heard it was a zombie movie, and I watched it, and I liked the way the zombies came about, but that was about it. The rest of it was kind of crappy. Yeah, it was kind of crazy. Okay, so Texas Chainsaw Massacre was worse, and we're just gonna stay there. But the Solar Impact movie was. I mean, it's a zombie movie. You gotta watch it. But
hello, Ash.
Hey, Ash.
Hey, Ash. Well, I get what you mean though. The beginning looked promising.
Yeah, it did.
It did. It looked like
the way they got infected was interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting, and it looked like they might have had a little bit of money, and then all of a sudden it just
Yeah.
But you know,
Yeah,
the Brits put out a crap load of zombie movies. You know, they're one of the bigger producers of zombie movies, and it, with mixed results.
Mm-hmm.
I've maybe seen 2 out of 10 that I really enjoyed. I'm not counting the big budget ones like 28 Days Later or
28
Shaun of
Days
the
Later
Dead.
had no budget. There was crap budget for 28 Days Later.
Yeah,
He killed it.
Did you
But
see?
it was
I'm sorry. Did you see the series, the British series? It was like, it took place at like a TV station. The zombie.
oh yeah, that was
that was a good
good.
one.
Dead Set.
Yeah,
Dead
Dead
Set.
Set. It was good.
They redid
Yeah.
that.
And the redo was great.
I haven't seen that one.
It was fantastic. I think
Whichever
it's
one was on Netflix.
Venezuelan, maybe?
I've only enjoyed British zomcoms, Shaun of the Dead, and if you haven't seen it, Doghouse.
Well, how about the boat? Have you seen the series where they're on the boat?
No.
It was only like 6 episodes, and they're on one of those little boats, that
Zomboat.
Zomboat. Yes,
Yeah, it was
that
cute.
was actually it was
cute.
it was funny. Yeah,
I just looked it up. 28 Days Later had a budget of $5 million. 5 million GBP. So
And there's-
it's Danny
I've
Boyle.
got to rewatch that.
Yeah.
I liked it, but I hated it after they left New York because I thought the way they portrayed the military was so stereotypically, the military in a crisis is going to be nothing but bad guys, that it ruined the movie for me.
yeah.
So
I don't like that.
I really need to go back and read it because, the first hour or so was just
They're red on you.
scary as shit.
Yeah, those were some terrifying zombies. They
Yeah.
were.
Who has red ink on their shirt?
Simon Pegg does.
That was,
I was gonna say it's like Jesus.
You got red on you.
Yeah, I got buried the body, and yeah,
You didn't get it all off, did
Yeah.
you?
if
I
the
like
dog
this.
comes down and starts licking it, it's not ink.
So, Rick, could you
Licking
do
what?
us the honor of picking our new movie for next week?
Oh, geez. On the spot. I don't know. Are we gonna do a horror movie? What do we want to do? What kind
Whatever
of
Rich
theme?
Restucci wants to do.
Oh hell.
I'll put him on the spot now.
I
Good, thanks.
don't know. I'm trying to think of a
Snatch.
good movie I've watched. It. You know what, Mr. Gamboa? Yes, let's watch Snatch. I'm serious. We talk about it all the time.
All
Let's
right.
watch it and review this. That's my
There-
pick.
Okay, let's do that. And we're gonna have to pair it with something similar than to Snatch.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
Shorty.
this reminded me.
Scott Baker's never seen Snatch.
I've never seen Snatch.
It's worth it.
Man, all that spying stuff you have with the CIA, you never saw Snatch, huh?
We probably could have written it.
Okay, hey, I forgot. I was going to say this. Gravy had one of the best lines in it. Okay, so Lily Cole's dressed like a cat, right? Remember what that gal says when she kills her? She says, I hope you and your big pussy go to hell. That's a great line. Remember? Whole
I'm
scene
sorry,
about her costume.
I'm just sitting there when she's, getting really down and kinky with, the cannibalism and the murders and the British accent. I'm just sort of like, okay, time to go talk to the psychiatrist.
Death by bottle.
Up the Wellbutrin.
That was great. So Snatch, and we're gonna have to get us another. Is it gonna be a British crime thriller?
Are they
Can
crime
I
movies?
pick? Can I pick?
Please.
Yes.
What? Okay, I'm gonna pick another Guy Ritchie. So we could, and I'll let y'all pick. I'll give you two. We can either do The Gentleman or we can do King Arthur. Dum dum dum.
Oh,
The pressure's
yeah.
on.
Gentlemen or what?
What's The Gentleman or King Arthur? Legend
Gentleman
of
or
the
King
Sword.
How about?
Does the gentleman have Matthew McConaughey in it?
Yes.
Yes, it does.
I think I've seen that.
And it's got what's his name too?
Colin Farrell.
Charlie Hunnam.
Oh, Charlie. But it's got.
Charlie
Does it have
Hunnam,
Colin
yeah.
Farrell in
What was your
Um,
other pick?
It does have Colin Farrell. It's got Tom Wu. It's got a bunch of people. Hugh Grant.
it? King Arthur was the other one, Rich.
Is the King Arthur one the other one with Charlie Hunnam?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I've seen both of those and they're both pretty good. But I could watch them again.
How about have you seen Wrath of Man?
Is that out? I'm
That
sorry,
is
Yeah.
out.
I haven't
That
seen
is
it.
out. It's
Have
on
y'all seen
Epics.
it?
It's on Epics. I've
That's
seen it.
Jason Statham?
Yes.
Yeah, I have seen that. That was good too. All the
That was
Jason
good.
Statham movies are the same movie, but they're all
Yeah.
pretty good.
Or we could do Rock and Rolla.
Ooh, I love rock
Let's
and
do
roll.
that. Let's
Okay.
do rock and roll. Yeah.
Snatch and rock and roll.
Oh man, next week's gonna be fun.
Rock and
Love
roll.
rock
It's
and roll.
Clive Owen, right? Rock and roller?
Yeah,
Is it
Clive Owen,
Yeah.
Mark Strong. Fuck.
Oh, my favorite, Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy.
Oh,
Tom Hardy.
Jeremy Piven.
Yeah, it's star-studded. It's great.
now
right.
this is
Tell-
rock and roller.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, what's
So-
his name? Gerard Butler, right?
Yeah,
he in it?
Idris Elba
Oh.
too.
You got my
Idris
sister
Elba?
watching it.
This one, I loved it. This is the first Guy Ritchie movie I think I saw, and then I saw Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels after that. But I really turned me on to Guy Ritchie movies. That one.
Yeah,
was good.
his Scott. I just can't wait for you to watch Snatch.
Oh,
Get subtitles though. Watch it with
Yeah,
subtitles.
you gotta
if
watch it
can.
with subtitles.
why?
The accents are so thick.
You need it.
It will
Really?
give you a whole
You know
new
who's got
it will give you a whole new appreciation of Brad Pitt.
I was
Yeah.
just gonna say the person with the best accent is Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
He's
It's
a pretty
funny.
boy, but he can act, guys.
He can act. He's a good actor.
Did y'all ever see True Romance? That's one of my
Yes.
favorites.
Yeah. That's a
Christian
good
Slater. Yeah.
Now, did Tarantino write that one?
He did write it, but
Yeah.
I think he had a falling out with the studio. And they didn't associate his name with it.
Yeah.
But
Rock and roll
that's one we
legends,
should
yeah.
watch sometime too, because that's a good star-studded one.
Which one? Oh, that True Romance.
Yeah,
Yeah,
True.
it is. Gary Oldman, right? Is it Gary Oldman? in that one?
Yes, that's one of my
think
favorite
he
Gary
is,
Oldman
yeah.
roles. It's Drexel.
Yeah.
I think is Samuel L. in that one too?
I don't remember.
I think he might have had a scene with Drexel.
Oh,
I know that it's got Brad Pitt, who I saw in an interview one time say that was the closest to his personal personality.
wow.
All right, are you ready for this? Christian Slater, Patricia Arquette, Dennis Hopper, Val Kilmer, Gary Oldman, Brad
Jeez.
Pitt, Christopher Walken, Bronson Pinchot, Samuel L. Jackson, Michael Rappaport, Saul Rubinek, Conchetta Ferrell, James Gandolfini, Anna Thompson, Victor Argo, Paul Bates, Chris Penn, Tom Sizemore, and that's where it stops.
That's
Holy
a lot.
shit.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, you were talking about Sam Jackson. Scott, I watched that movie, Unthinkable, that you recommended.
What did you
I-
think?
I just didn't like the ending, the very ending. I just didn't like that part,
Okay.
but I thought it was good.
Sometime
It
I'm
was
going to ask you offline, in case we ever do it here. When would you have put the kibosh on it?
good. Yeah. Millions of people.
You would have gone up to the end. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
That's just too much. Too many losses.
Yeah.
Good movie though, except for
Was
the
it
very
good?
end.
It was a good movie, and I mean, I've never involved in the interrogations, but just I love the way the dichotomy between him, Catherine Moss as the FBI, and I can't think of the actor who was brilliant who played the military.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
On
Yeah.
that note, guys, I'm going to wrap it up and say we are on Fringe FM on Fridays from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you have a chance, it is a highlight reel of what the Wyrd team has been working on. You can find Low Ballin' with Joe and Alan. It's a new show with Joe Hansen doing some interviews with some great authors. We also have been doing Weird Awakenings. I believe this week is going to feature the episode on giants that Stephen Hill, Henry Tully, Morgana Calder, and I did last week. It's a lot of fun. There's also, I think, a highlight reel for that Horror Writers Inc. Panel that we did, the first one for All of Us Are Dead. And there might even be a sneak peek from Logan. I'm not sure what to expect. But you should be on the lookout for it tomorrow. It will be uploaded. And until then, be sure to like, subscribe, find us all over the internet. You can, of course, go to our website and subscribe. We plan on doing some fun stuff there. We will be blogging more and more. And that's going to be weirdrealities.net, and that's weird with a Y. Until next week, stay weird.
Next week, folks.
Ciao.